In the news this week, Perth joins international rally against the government's move to close down remote communities.
And go against the trend, why some young married couples choose to have kids early.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Lung and Daniel Staniscott.
Good evening. Hundreds of protesters joined the demonstration against shutting down remote communities. Demonstrators chanted, "Save the community, close the gap," as they marched from Forest Place to Parliament House. Darren McLean has the details.
Less than 24 hours after the Harrison Island clear-up, a major protest against the closure of remote Aboriginal communities hit the streets of Perth. Many politicians, human rights activists and Aboriginal elders joined the rally, demanding the government keep remote communities open.
The message is very clear. Aboriginal people no longer want to be told what their future is. They want the ability to shape their own destiny.
It is not about whether they're viable or unsustainable. We can play with figures all we like. Non-Aboriginal communities have to meet the same criteria. These communities have been degraded.
However, Premier Colin Barnett has reiterated that the number of remote Aboriginal communities in Western Australia is not sustainable.
But I think if anyone just thinks about it, 274 communities is not going to survive in the long term. No person will be forced from their land, no person will be forced from their community, but the state will not be able to provide services across that many communities.
There were 20 cities around the world that participated in the demonstration. 60 rallies were held across Australia. Darren McLean, WAMN News.
The average age of first-time mums in Australia has increased to 30.7 years old. Despite surging financial costs and lower wages, some couples are still keen to get married young and have kids early. Ali Harper looks at how those families cope with the pressure.
At just 22 and 23 years old, high school sweethearts Nikki and Scott Hicks have married, bought their first home and become parents.
But we just really wanted to get our own place and start our family, and it was so important for us to be young parents.
The pair worked and saved hard, and at just 19 and 20 years old were able to put down a 50 grand deposit on this $360,000 4x1 home in Huntingdale and begin renovations. The soon-to-be family of four live comfortably, with plenty of savings in the bank, giving Nikki the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mum.
What was going to make us most happy was to have a young family and have our own place and sort of go from there. But
you can't just click your fingers and get it.
Financial experts say that young couples face more financial pressure to start off.
It would be naturally more challenging for younger families, especially in their 20s, because of their relatively lower salaries.
Alfred Cheng advises young people to create savings for a rainy day.
Keep aside a reserve for hard times, or if hard times don't materialize, then you can invest it. By the time you are 50 or 60, you would have actually hopefully a very nice safety net.
Ali Harper, WAMN News.
WA police are investigating into the homicide happened at Yangebup on Friday night. The murder was discovered after officers arrived at the property in Bonito Place at 9:45 p.m. to deal with the disturbance. A 25-year-old man was allegedly murdered. The forensics team are examining the crime scene for clues. Police are looking for Jonathan Sotaro and Christina Gullin to assist the investigation. They were seen leaving the premises with a red vehicle on Friday night.
People we are looking for, we believe they have information which will provide direct evidence as to what's actually occurred leading up to this death. And should anybody know them or should anybody know where they are, we would ask that they contact Crime Stoppers and not approach them.
The City of Perth has urged the state government to reduce the city's parking levy, or else drivers will have to pay more to park in the CBD. Under the plan, the levy will increase from $14 to $17 million. The Chief Executive Officer Gary Stevenson said the city cannot afford to pay an extra $3 million worth of levy. The council also announced that street parking will increase by 10 cents per hour, including a minimum $2 per hour charge.
The Australian Catholic University has set up 2 new scholarships named after the recently executed Bali 9 members Andrew Chan and Maran Sukumaran. The newly set up scholarships are aimed at Indonesian undergraduates, waiving the tuition fee for all 4 years of their studies. The university condemned the death penalty as a violent, cruel and immoral punishment that has no place in human society. Andrew Chan and Myron Sukumaran were executed by the Indonesian authorities after spending 9 years in jail for drug charges.
Nepal is struggling to deal with the earthquake disaster which happened last Saturday. The international aid charity, the Red Cross, warned about the total devastation in isolated areas as the assessment team found survivors in a desperate situation. The death toll has risen above 6,000 people and more than 14,000 people are injured. Meanwhile, Oxfam is attempting to provide clean water and sanitation for residents who are too afraid to return to their homes.
Well, the top priority is that the people who are living in the areas beyond Kathmandu that have been earthquake affected do need shelter. They need emergency kits so that they can treat the water so it's drinkable and have basic things like tarpaulins and blankets and sanitation materials. We know that the health system is very overloaded, so there's a great need for help in that respect.
And if you want to help, you can always donate to Oxfam and the Australian Red Cross on their website.
That's all we have for you this week. Feel free to jump onto our website or Facebook for the latest news. Good night.
Good night.